Hi kindergarten, it's Miss Frannis, and today we're going to be talking about nonfiction books. We've been talking a lot about fiction stories, and remember, fiction books are made up, imaginary, or pretend. The author uses their imagination to create these amazing stories that we get to read. But nonfiction books are a little bit different. They're real or informational. So we're going to learn something from these books, something interesting, a fact or statistic that will make you smart. Not that fiction books don't make you smart, because reading makes you smart. But nonfiction books have facts and statistics in them, and you can impress your friends and family with what you learn. And also, this is different. If you remember, the spine labels of a fiction story always have letters. But in nonfiction, they don't. They have numbers and letters. And that's because those numbers stand for something. So this is 636.8. So if you were to come to the library, and one day you will, if you were to come to the library, you could check out in the nonfiction section, and 636.8 is where all the cat books would be at. So you could go to that shelf and you could find 636.8, and that's where all the cat books are. You're going to notice that there are letters after that. And usually, on our front cover, we normally see the author's name. On this book, we don't. It's actually inside on the title page. So we have the title, My First Pet Cats, and it's by Carrie Mester. And so you're going to notice the first three letters is M-E-I. So it's 636.8 M-E-I. So 636.8 means that's the cat section. That's where all the cat books are. So if you were to go here in this library, or the Omaha Public Library, or a library in Paris, France, they're all under 636.8. That's where all the cat books are in the nonfiction section. Now they're separated because nonfiction, remember, means real or informational. So they have a bit more statistics in them than like a fiction story does. So that's why they're in a different part of the library. So I hope you're ready to learn something about cats. Take some notes in your brain, because I'm going to ask you some questions at the very end. Another difference between fiction and nonfiction is nonfiction books have a table of contents usually, not always, but usually. And they give you the chapters and what chapter you can find that information on. So we're going to be learning about a lot of cats, which starts on page 4. Then what does the cat need on page 22? A picture glossary on page 23, an index on page 24, and to learn more is also on page 24. So we're going to go through that as we read the book. A lot of cats. Anna wants a cat. She goes to a shelter. Look at all the cats. Anna asks about each cat. Then she sees Max. Meow. She brings him home. Lots of people have a cat. Tyler holds his kitten. He pets her. She purrs. Abby feeds Milo. She gives him food. She fills his water dish. Emma cleans the litter box. She scoops the poop every day. Ah, you have to do that when you have a cat. Lucas gives Zoe a collar and a tag. The tag has his phone number. If Zoe gets lost, people will call him. Gus takes Skye to the vet. The vet checks Skye. He gives her shots. Ted gives Beast a catnip mouse. It makes beasts go crazy. Cats make fun pets. So I hope you were taking notes in your brain. Do you remember some of the things that cats need? See if you remember any of them. Do you remember anything? Well, if you said cat food, you were correct. Cat food has all the nutrients your pet needs. In a water dish, cats need fresh, clean water every day. And a scratching post, cats like to scratch their claws on these posts. And a collar, a band that goes around the cat's neck and holds a tag. In case they get lost there, they can call that number on the tag. Finally, we have some picture glossaries. In case you weren't sure of the words, you can look in the glossary, and the glossary is kind of like a mini dictionary, and it'll tell you the definition of the words you may or may not know. So catnip, a plant that some cats react to that is used in cat toys, and sometimes it makes them crazy. Shelter, a place where people can take their animals that do not have a home. A litter box is used by a cat to go potty. And finally, a vet is an animal doctor. Here we have the index on the back. So if you're like, oh my gosh, that was so funny what they said about the litter box, I want to read that part again. So you can go here and you can see litter box. Oh, it's on page 12. So you can go to page 12 right there, and you can read all about that litter box all over again. Ooh, that's a job. I don't think I would like scooping that litter box, but has to be done. So the index helps us find information. If we want to read something again, or if we can't remember something, we can always look at the index and find what we need. So ladies and gentlemen, today you are going to be figuring out what book here is fiction, what book is nonfiction. You're going to circle the nonfiction book, and they're both about flowers. Now, here's the thing about nonfiction, is you want to try to make it as real as possible. Fiction books, you were kind of lucky because you could do whatever you wanted with a nonfiction book, but you could do whatever you want with a fiction book, but with nonfiction books, you can't. Nonfiction books, you have to make them seem as real as possible. It has to look like a photograph. So you're going to circle the book that is nonfiction, and then you're going to color it. You can design a background, you can, do whatever you want to that book, but you have to make it look as real as possible. It's like a photograph, because remember, nonfiction books are real or informational. You're going to learn something from a nonfiction book. Boys and girls, I'll see you next week. Bye.